the people who run our country, Biden, Kamala was doing it at the border, even people in the past, but the judges, everyone, the DAs, all of them, the border agents, they need to fucking track down every person in that chain from the moment this guy walked into the country to the minute he was released.
Yeah.
And all those motherfuckers need to be held accountable for her death.
Tony, they're going soft. We've been saying it. We've been noticing it. It's been a real concern. I mean, the momentum has to keep going harder and stronger until they know that they can't step up and try us or stop us. They've been given a little bit of hope, and we can't give them hope. We got to let them know never again. What we have had to endure for these last 4 or 5 years has been absolute bullshit. And to see Trump and this administration going in the direction that they're letting it go, it's got me concerned because we can't peter out. We can't go weak. We can't show any signs of weakness. This is what we're seeing on every level. What they're reporting, their feeble attempts to make moves or appointments or, any kind of stance that they then waver and waffle on. That's projecting weakness. And they got to realize that they're Americans and need to understand how to act like it. I'm seeing it. I'm sure that it's going to have a cascading effect if this is not stopped, Tony. I'm concerned about it, and I'm getting angry too, because at this point the battle's not with the left. It's to get our own side back on track. And that's just how I see it.
We need to be ruthless killers. That's the mindset we need to have. And the pattern that I've seen for as long as I can remember has been reach across the aisle, make nice. And I was thinking about it today. What I often hear, and this really struck me, what I often hear is when people on supposedly our side say things like, I was talking to this guy, we had a disagreement, about politics, but, we have a lot of respect for each other. We make it clear that we're not enemies. We're still friends. We can still go have a beer together. We still get along. We still respect each other. Fuck that. Let me tell you something. When I think about it, if I'm going to have a discussion with somebody over a ball game or over something insignificant that's not going to impact the direction of my country, that's fine. Okay, if I don't know what your beliefs are, but if your beliefs are beliefs that undermine the foundation of what this country was built upon and negatively impacts the direction of our country, our liberty, our freedom, our traditional values, our principles, beliefs, then I don't want to know you. Like when I figure out who you are, you're my fucking enemy, and I don't want to hang out with you. You're fucking not my friend, and I don't want to have a beer with you, and I don't fucking respect you. And I'll give you an example. I heard, these people lift up all these so-called expert pundits, and they listen to them like sheeple. You got a guy like, and Trump has even bragged on this guy, Mark Levin. Okay, Mark Levin, for example, they call the Great One. Why? I'm not sure. I'm sure he's a smart guy, but he's not that fucking smart because when you hear him speak, I'm hearing this guy through this clip somebody shared with me saying, Tony, you got to hear this. So I fucking listened to it, and he's saying shit like, did you guys hear what Charles Barkley said and what Stephen A. Smith said? These are sports commentators that, for the most part, act like fucking thugs. I mean, when they speak, but he's saying how much he respects them, and our side needs to listen to what they say, because what they're saying is preaching to to their leftist followers that, hey, look, we lost the election. Now we have to fall in line, and we have to give Trump a chance. Ooh, that's so profound. That's so incredible. Let's get on our knees and kiss their fucking ass because they're admitting that they fucking lost. These are the heroes we're supposed to kiss up to and fucking model after. Are you fucking kidding me? And he's saying how much he respects these people and admires them for those statements and likes them, and how he's had them on their on his show. No, these are the fucking enemies. They're by them speaking that way, they're submitting themselves to some degree. Now you need to finish them off. And I just feel like with these appointments that you're talking about, I know who you're referring to, Gaetz, and I'm not. The last time we talked about him, when they were going to appoint him, I said I'm not sure what my opinion is of him yet, and I'll tell you why in a second. But when he appointed him, if you appoint him, follow fucking through. Trump said when he appointed him, I don't give a damn who objects. I don't have a second choice in mind because he's my choice, and we're gonna stand with him no matter what until the end. And how many days was it? How many days did it take, Doug?
It's been less than a week, I think.
Less than a fucking week. He gets a little pushback, his side, whoever his advisors are, but he's the man. The buck stops with him, with Trump, I mean. And he should have said, I don't give a fuck what your objection is. We're going to fight you until the death, until we get him through, because it's about principle. We want him. That's our fucking guy, and we're going to push him all the way through. And you're not going to stand our fucking way. And if you do, watch the fuck out.
Yeah.
And then just come down on them fucking hard. But to cave so fast, you've already put blood in the water now for the left, and they smell it, man. And like one of you guys told me about Elizabeth Warren. What did she say? Was it you? It was one of you guys. You said that she said, "Oh, it was Tommy."
It
was Tommy. He said that
she's taking credit for.
She said 1 down, more to go, whatever. 10 more to go, whatever the fuck it was. So they're already claiming victory, and he hasn't even taken office yet.
Yeah.
So that's a problem.
And that gives them hope. And
it emboldens them, yeah.
Yeah, we don't give them any hope.
The worst part about it is it's basically 5 or 6 Republican senators who said flat out no, and it's our own side that's killing us.
That's right.
So,
well, he said giving them hope. We need to crush the hope out of them.
Exactly.
And I remember, Doug, you were there, I think, right? Maybe you weren't there actually. No, you weren't at that one. You're at so many of the events I go to, but. So I went to this event. A good friend invited me to, a respected businessman.
Yeah.
And he was. I think it was an event he was hosting for Palmer Luckey. Yeah. And Palmer Luckey brought in Matt Gaetz. This is like maybe a year and a half ago, 2 years ago.
Yeah. Is that Newport Beach guy or what?
Palmer Luckey guy is, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So they bring Matt Gaetz to this event. I didn't even know he was going to be there. I showed up. He was there. He was a special guest that was going to speak. You know me. I don't show any love to politicians. I don't give them a lot of attention. I don't fawn over them. I don't fawn over anybody, except for my wife and my son. But so he was there, and this was the middle of lockdown, so maybe it was 3 years ago. I can't remember when it was exactly. It was like towards the last quarter of the lockdowns, I think. So somebody grabbed me and said, Matt Gaetz needs to meet you because everything that you've done at Basilico, standing up to lockdowns, all the stuff that you've done. I said, that's cool. I said, I don't need to meet. No, please, I want to introduce him to you. I said, all right. So she found him and she brought him over. And she said, I want to introduce you to Tony Roman. You know the story?
No.
Kim, you don't know the story?
I didn't
you
hear
don't
the
know
story,
him?
no.
So she says, I want to introduce you to Tony Roman. So he walks over. He's like, yeah. And then she goes, yeah, he did this, he did that. Stood up to everybody, fought the lockdowns, stood up to the government, the city, he stood up to everybody. And he set the standard for what it means to fight these fucking people. And he looked at me like he was disgusted. He sneered at me and turned his nose up at me like he was not happy about what he fucking heard.
Yeah.
And then I could sense it. So I just pretty much said, hey, good talking to you. And I turned my back and walked away, and he walked away, and that was it.
Wow.
Then he went in this big area room, and they gave him the mic. And I remember everybody was standing around him. Can't remember if Violet was with me or not today. I think she was. And this big crowd was everybody else was standing at attention, like circling him, wanting to hear what this congressman has to say, right? The rising star, Matt Gaetz. And Violet and I was like, no, we're fucking sitting down. And we're sitting way over the fucking here. And he's going to see that we don't give a fuck. So we sat in the corner within eye shot of him. Like he could see us clearly. Violet, of course, you can't not notice her. And we're sitting there, and we're the only ones sitting down, not even looking his direction. We're just talking as he's giving a speech. But I could hear it. I could hear some of it. And I remember he had that frat boy sort of personality where he was just talking about, all he was doing was talking about how excited he was when Trump would always invite him on the plane. And then he would say to Trump, oh, I got this girlfriend, you should meet her. And Trump would say, Trump then told me, wow, she's so pretty. And I was so excited that Trump was like, allowing him to hang out, and so I wasn't all that impressed, he could have had a different impact on me, but some reason he had nothing to say. So I was like, fuck him.
All fluff, it sounds like. All fluff.
Yeah, but yeah, sure. But you know what? He's still supposedly on our side, and if that's our guy, that's our guy. And if if Trump wants him, fine, But see it to the fucking end. So when Trump says things like if Trump says things like, you know what, I want to, I'm gonna see it to the end, and no one's gonna stand in our way, and I don't have a second choice because he's my guy. Did you mean what you said? Are we supposed to always believe what you say now? You said it. We all believed you. People were fired up about that he said, oh, fuck them, we're doing it, no matter what. No one's standing in our way, and you caved within not even a week? Yeah. That worries me a lot. I know it worries you a lot too, Doug.
Well, Trump had a mechanism to get him in for at least 2 years. There's this whole idea of recess appointment. You don't need confirmation from Congress. He could have been in for 2 years. In 2 years, he could have done, if he was the guy, in 2 years, he could have done a lot for Trump. But it wasn't even, 12 hours. And, from Wednesday to Thursday, Trump's out. And Trump, it didn't seem like Trump was fighting for him at all. He just said he accepted his resignation, thanked him, and, moved on. And then, he nominated somebody else.
Quickly.
Within a few hours.
So it almost, and then he selected, did he select a man, Doug?
No, exactly. Of course not.
Exactly. So it's another woman.
Pam Bondi.
Well, like we talked about, do they not make men anymore? Are there no men to choose from that are skilled? Skilled attorneys. Yeah. That have proven that they're conservative minded. Yeah. And they don't bend. They don't compromise. They're none? Are you fucking telling me they're none? Yeah. She's the only choice?
I was thinking maybe she's
another woman leading a giant department. What? Yeah.
Maybe she's a modern day Joan of Arc or something.
You said if he's gonna pick a woman, she better be Joan of Arc. Yeah. That's what you said.
Well,
that's just wishful thinking. Even with him, we settled for less because he's better than the rest.
Who are you talking about?
Him, Gaetz. Yeah. We settled for less because he's better than the rest. But all the wishful thinking in the world. Can't make a silk purse out of a sow's ear. I'm thinking of like an interview he did on The View with all those cackling hags, right?
Yeah, tell us about that.
Yeah, because
a lot of people don't know about this.
He's talking 5 years ago about Grenell, who was, I think, Trump's appointment for maybe CIA director or something, openly gay guy. And, he's trying to virtue signal to these ladies like, now Trump is very, he's very progressive as far as, LGBT. And they're like, well, he's still banning trans from the military. And he says, well, that is not who we are. I don't think anybody should be banned from the military. Yeah. And that is not who the Republican Party is now or something.
So he was shilling for them.
Yeah, he's just basically, he's trying to please them and trying to win them over by jumping onto their bandwagon. And that is not conservative. That's not traditional. That's not
Yeah,
Republican.
it's not fighting to the end.
It's
It
not.
kinda- yeah, and then it feels like I've been railing against Trump having these left-wing Democrats that claim to be Republicans now, like Tulsi Gabbard and RFK and even Elon Musk, right? A lot of people don't understand that there is a study called political neuroscience, and they've done studies at University of South Carolina. They did a study at the college in London. I don't know how many years ago this was, but those are the two most prominent ones. And the studies have shown evidence that your political leanings are hardwired. They don't really change. You are who you are, and they've proven it even with twins, where they've studied twins, and they did this study. This study I'm talking about now was another one, a third one. I forget what university did it. It was in the 50s, where they took twins, I think identical twins, and they said, okay, they're identical twins, and they're raised in the same house, the same parents, the same upbringing, everything, but one would be politically left and one would be politically right. And when they studied their genes, they could see that that the genetic code was a little bit different in each of them, even if they're raised in the same family under the same roof, right, with the same principles of how you're fucking raised. You are who you are. That's
What's
just
this saying? Tigers don't change their spots. Is that
stripes.
or stripes?
Yeah, leopards don't change. Yeah, same thing. But Pam Bondi too. She's got an association. She's had a long affiliation with the Church of Scientology. Did you guys know that?
I had no idea. That's not good.
She does a lot of events with those guys, and they fund a lot of. I think they funded her campaigns several times, and that's just a fucking weird cult, don't you think?
There's no question about it.
You know, they
strangers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fucked. It was created by a science fiction writer. That's who created it, and they have even said that they have this this requirement of who can get in and who can't, and they have said in terms of their leaders, or I forget what the rankings are when you're in their church, but they have said that Jesus Christ wouldn't even make the cut in terms of being a leader in that church. Like he wouldn't even fit in.
Yeah.
So what does that tell you?
I know some insight into their creator founder is
L. Ron Hubbard.
L. Ron Hubbard.
Yeah.
So
Science fiction writer.
he in like whatever it was, the 40s or 50s, he was involved with other people that ran in satanic circles, and he even supposedly did like these ceremonial satanic rituals with an individual by the name of Aleister Crowley. And so, birds of a feather flock together. He's, I think, rumored to have been, the captain of his ship, but he was kind of a pedophile, Yeah,
they believe in some overlord alien dictator from outer space that that exiled like billions of beings to Earth like 75 billion years ago, and then tortured them with some sort of terrifying space opera, and then left them near volcanoes to die and burn, and that he's still here somewhere being held captive. He's like the tyrant. They believe in reincarnation. They also have this thing called that they believe in called R245. They have you heard of this?
No.
R245. Maybe it's something that our side needs to start to fucking use. R245. This policy's not so bad actually if we're going to use it, on our enemies. But it was basically a process that they believed in that separated the soul from the body by shooting a person in the head with a .45 revolver.
They would probably do it.
So, yeah,
They probably separate a lot of things.
So they use this to threaten their enemies.
Yeah.
I mean, at least he went hard.
That whole, you can't really call it a religion, but that's a cult. No question about it.
Yeah.
They do all kinds of crazy things, and they get crazy people to be part of it. And once you're in, you can't get out.
Yeah, so if she's so fucking smart, what is she doing hanging out with these guys?
I don't know.
Right? Isn't it so much easier just to be Christian?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just be a fucking Christian. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Well, you know, Christians today, they don't really stick together. They don't really go hard. You know, they don't take care of their body temple. And I'll say this, for all of its faults, that, you know, cult, they do stick together. They're a massive network, and they do care about health. They do a lot about health. They like have all these cleanses and these special like diets to get you like to be like it's some kind of optimal like health peak condition. You know, Tom Cruise is one of them. He looks good for his age, you know, but they're caring for the body, but not the soul or the spirit.
Yeah.
But still, there's something to be said for that. It does yield results.
I'll join the fucking gym. Yeah, I gotta go join the Church of Scientology.
Yeah.
I mean,
Join
if
gym
the
and find-
church,
find a nutritionist.
if
all
the
right?
American church just stepped up and started doing more to help people in more facets of their life, like there's so many people that are part of the church and they're sitting there going, you know, I don't approve what they're trying to teach my kids in school and everything. But the Bible says faith without works is dead. In other words, if you're going to talk the talk, walk the walk. Are they going and getting their asses over to the school board? I mean, if a church of 500, 600, 700 people, 800 congregants on any Sunday morning, maybe they have 3 sermons every Sunday morning, they probably have 2,000, 3,000 people. Could they spare 50 people to go to a school board to push what they want? Of course they could. But do they? No, because they're cucks. They're sitting there not going hard. They're not getting involved. They claim all this faith in this. I believe in this, and that shouldn't be happening, and this shouldn't be happening. But then do they follow through? Fuck no, they don't. And so that makes them, in my book, you know, contemptible because really it's stolen valor. I've been to these churches where the pastor's up there and they're talking about him and saying, oh, Pastor so-and-so is on the front lines and he's standing against this woke agenda, da 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 da. And so then I go and I try and talk to them, and then they act like Michael, is it Matt Gaetz?
Matt Gaetz.
They act like Matt Gaetz got with you.
Yeah.
Like they cringe.
Yeah,
They
you're
don't-
a little too hard.
You're too hard. They don't want to do that. They don't ruffle any feathers.
Yeah.
And I remember this pastor, you know, I want to talk to him, and he told me, I'll come back at 1 o'clock. And I was like, okay. So I came back after he wants to talk to me. I'll come back. And this bitch ass fucking pastor's got like a bodyguard, security guard. You know, the Bible clearly says that God doesn't give you a spirit of fear. And this guy's acting like a coward. He's got a bodyguard sitting there watching my every move. I just want to talk to a pastor. You know, I put my hand in my pocket, his eyes dart to my hand. So if I just turn around and said, hey, look, you want to pat me down? And he laughed. I laughed too, but I just tried to break the ice because they were tense. They were scared.
Yeah.
And then when I started finally talking to the pastor and I explained to him, you know, I've been involved in activism. I've gone to city councils and board meetings and school. And he says in response, we don't get involved in anything like that. Maybe if we ever go to an event about abortion, we stay off to the side and just pray quietly if we do anything. And I walked away thinking, so then what the fuck do they do?
Yeah.
They're talking about him being on the front lines.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound like the front lines in any
No.
way, shape, or form. And if he's praying it, then he should be stepping on faith and doing something about what he's praying about, at least speaking. But no, faith without works is dead.
Yeah.
And whatever he's talking about he believes in with his faith is dead because he's not actually doing the work to be on the front lines. And that's stolen valor.
That's why I love my Catholic priest. He, all these people that come at me saying I use too much foul language or I'm a little too angry and I go a little too hard. He stands by me every step of the way. Because he knows my heart. He knows who I am, and he's as hard as I am, and he's in the Catholic Church. You know, he packs a gun under his robe. He doesn't take any shit. And that's the kind of priest I want, and that's the kind of priest I have,
Absolutely.
and I'm blessed to have a priest like him
And
in my life.
If your kids are going to
And he'll baptize my son. Go ahead.
Absolutely.
With this gun under his robe. Go ahead.
If your kids are going to the Catholic school, you don't have to worry about the school board meetings because they're not teaching that crap at the Catholic schools.
Yeah, they're not. You know, I think I was thinking today. I've been thinking a lot about this person, especially with all this shit going on. I've been thinking about that woman that was killed by that illegal alien, Laken
Yeah.
Riley. That trial captivated the fucking country, and I don't know if you guys followed any of it at
I
all,
did.
but this poor girl, all she did was go for a jog, and this is you hear this fucking story over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Here's this bright light. She's 21, 22 years old. She's going to be a nurse, doing something with her life. She was so she loved God. She had a close relationship with Jesus. Like, she talked about it all the time. She even wrote in her diaries. She wrote letters to her future husband, how she was preparing for him to be a devoted wife, and a good Christian wife.
Yeah.
And you know what? The people who run our country, Biden, Kamala was doing it at the border, even people in the past, but the judges, everyone, the DAs, all of them, the border agents, they need to fucking track down every person in that chain from the moment this guy walked into the country to the minute he was released.
Yeah.
And all those motherfuckers need to be held accountable for her death, because what he did to her was fucking brutal. And this fucking guy was hunting women. This scumbag Venezuelan guy, he and his brother, I don't know if his brother was involved or not, but what I want to know is, it was he and his two brothers, and they go track these guys down at this apartment complex. First of all, how are they able to even fucking rent an apartment?
Yeah.
They're Americans that can't even afford a fucking apartment. These are illegal aliens that I think started off in New York. I think, am I right about that?
I think so.
Somewhere
up north.
Yeah, in New York.
north,
They put him on a
northeast.
flight. They fund the whole thing. Heads down to Georgia.
Yeah.
Kills a woman.
At
Wrecks their
taxpayers-
family.
Yeah, the
Taxpayer
flight
expense.
was taxpayers' expense
Yeah.
to fly them to Georgia.
Yeah. And
Were these guys working, you think, or were they on that? I mean, do you think they had jobs?
when they went to his house to arrest him, he was fucking sound asleep, drunk.
Yeah.
So I don't think he was working. But the point is that, when are we going to start holding people accountable? And that's, going back to what he was saying earlier, our side is just so fucking weak, man. We're not willing to just annihilate them. And I was thinking about it too, because about what he said too, because Deborah Gonzalez is her fucking name. She was a liberal prosecutor, DA, George Soros funded
In Georgia, right?
in Georgia.
Yeah.
And she was the one that said, I'm not going to seek the death. Now, she did this early on. I think she got voted out, but it was already set in stone.
Yeah.
She was not going to seek the death penalty because it would cause collateral consequences to undocumented defendants.
Yeah.
So what they should fucking do with her, enough of this law-abiding shit. What they should do with her, they need to grab her ass and throw her in a solitary confinement cell with this fucking guy.
Yeah.
For 6 fucking months and see what happens to her.
Yeah.
That's what needs to fucking happen.
It's a shame what happened to that poor girl. And she suffered, I think, for like 15 or 16 minutes, they were saying. Basically tortured by this guy.
And then he bashed her head in with a fucking rock.
Tony, I don't watch TV anymore. I haven't watched it for a long time, but
Yeah, but you look at your phone.
you know what it is this. That story from my journey is so common, because I was part of events back in 2017 for remembering the victims of illegal aliens.
You were.
And we came under
You walked the walk, man.
we came under uncommon resistance, extraordinary resistance back in 2017. I remember the way they mobilized 500 law enforcement from all over Orange County. And I remember seeing this woman deputy just like looking at me with such contempt as they were guarding us from the 2,000 people that had been bussed down to Laguna Beach by George Soros and other NGOs.
Mm-hmm.
And when I think about all the resistance I got, and that was back, we were talking about Kate Steinle. Even back then, there were women that were being, taken out in the same way as Laken Riley while jogging.
Laken.
And then their fathers, or this woman's father comes out and just gushes and talks about how the food is so, we have such good food from, like that's why we need to have this this flow of invaders because of the food, you know, like,
Fucking food.
yeah, it's just like, you know, there's like one meme where it shows the father crying when he's been informed about his daughter's death, and there's, you know, like a whatever, you know, whoever responds, a special responder that's like leaning in, and then it has the caption reading, "Want a taco?"
Yeah, exactly.
That was the meme.
Perfect.
Because really, like, you're gonna throw away your whole country,
Yeah.
your whole future,
Yeah.
your children's
Yeah.
safety and security, because that's your excuses,
Yeah. We need more
Such-
taco shops.
such
we don't
vibrant
we don't have
food.
enough. Yeah, we don't have taco shops.
right? So, I mean, at some point, Tony, I can't even care anymore. I know what's right, but I'm not gonna let myself get angry about it. I watch Fox News. You know, I saw something a few days ago where they were saying Democrats are using votes that the court ruled illegal, and they're not stopping.
Yeah, they're not stopping.
And I said to
I saw that.
myself, so what is this complaining and lamenting about how bad and mean the Democrats are as far as respecting our laws? Like, why aren't they saying Democrats are asking for an ass whooping before they get taken out?
And that's why we're doing this, because it's
Yeah.
our job now.
Why aren't
We're
they?
doing- we're
Because they're
doing
not. Because nature abhors a vacuum, and they're leaving a wide open space. And guess what? We're going to fill
We're
it
gonna
because
fill that
somebody
motherfucker.
better.
Yeah, yep.
And instead of just talking about the problem, we got to start talking about the solution.
Yeah, and if anybody out there that has power, if there's any political leader out there that has power that wants to enlist us to activate any of these fucking ideas that we have, we are available.
That's right.
We will gladly fucking do. We're not just talking. We'll gladly do whatever it takes. You have our backs, and you enable us to do what we want to fucking do. We know that you're gonna provide coverage for us to fucking do it. Call us. We'll fucking do it.
Yeah.
You need us. They fucking need people like us. They need men like us.
Words are powerful.
Well, Trump wouldn't have the Gaetz problem, if he consulted with us before he made that nomination.
That is so true. If I could sit next to him, it'd just be win, win, win. And
Because he said, we don't win anymore. That's what he said years ago. And that's what I feel
but he's
like.
not winning himself.
That's what I feel like right now.
So
Is
you're
we
not
don't
fucking winning,
We don't
man.
win anymore. We
You're
still
not
don't win anymore.
Well, it starts with even he's delusional a little bit when he said things like, I remember you and I talked about this, Doug, when he said when he surrendered himself to fucking brag.
Yeah.
Surrendered himself to brag. We already went through all this in one of the episodes. Drives all the way up there.
Yeah.
I said, "What the fuck are you doing? You're Donald Trump. Tell him to fuck off. Don't even show up." He goes there. They fingerprint him. They mugshot him. He goes there before this guy Bragg and the judge, like they're his overlords, right?
Yeah.
And kisses her ass. Does all this, and then he puts out a shirt that says "Never Surrender." You
And he
just
just
fucking
says-
surrendered.
That's
What are you
right.
talking about?
Yeah.
You know what that fucking means?
Yeah.
So there's a lot for him to learn, but I'm even noticing now that I'm really, really surprised. I'm not seeing more American flags flying around. I'm not seeing like since he got elected, you think people feel emboldened to show their colors more.
Yeah.
Fly the American flag more. Fly the Don't Tread on Me flag fucking more. Be provocative. Be bold. Scare the shit. Fly the red flag that we fucking talked about.
It seems like there was a lot of that, like the first week or so after the election, and it's really kind of just diminishing now. People are kind of, Republicans, conservatives are kind of going back to their lives, and they're just maybe trusting that, hey, Trump's elected, everything's going to be great. Well, you know what? It's not going to be good unless we continue to put the pressure on these people.
Yeah, and now they're pushing for another woman, Lara Trump, to be senator
Yeah.
in Florida. Get the fuck out of here. Listen, she married into that family.
Yeah.
I don't know what her experience was before then, but all I do know is, and what I don't like is when people start to grift. She's trying to start a singing career, which if you listen to it, the dogs will howl in your neighborhood.
Without your bravery, we're all out of luck. No, this can't be denied. You gotta be special. Takes a lot to put you last and everybody first. This can't be for life. Know how they can make gold. And the flames getting higher.
I almost
I had
howled.
no idea.
I'm not a dog. Like, it was so
Yeah.
bad. It's embarrassing. It's like when you're watching it, you say to yourself, is this a Saturday Night Live? Is she joking?
Yeah.
Or is she really fucking trying to be a singer? Now I heard that she's launching some patriotic clothing line. It's like, shut the fuck up. Okay, stop trying to grift. We all know what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know, and the other person, the only woman right now that I think deserves a little credit. Still don't want her on fucking board, but she deserves a little credit, is Sarah Palin. Sarah Palin, when you think about it, she was MAGA before Trump was.
Yeah.
I mean, she was unfiltered before he was.
Yeah.
She was saying things about the media before he was. She was on the attack before he was.
Yeah.
And there's a reason why weaklings and traitors like John McCain hated her. Once he brought her on board, he realized how hardcore she was.
Yeah.
Tried to get her to tone it down, and she wouldn't. Next thing you know, he distanced her and threw her under the bus.
She had some good ideas during that campaign too, and McCain wasn't going for it. But you know, maybe he would have done a little bit better if he listened to her. So
yeah, and you know, even these young men now are saying that the young men who voted for Trump, they're saying now that they're pulling back. Yeah, we support Trump, but his policies, you know, that he's talking about a little too hard. You know, he's got that new senator, the leading senator. What's the guy's name that's going to lead
John
the
Thune?
Senate? John Thune.
Yeah.
John Thune's on record saying, I forget what interview he did, where he actually said, I would like Trump to pull back a little bit. I wish he would soften his tone a little bit. It's already started, man.
Yeah.
It's already started.
The Republican Senate is going to be a challenge. I just don't. They're just not up for the fight.
Even on the immigration, the deportations, he hasn't even taken office, and I saw something where they're already setting it up for how they can't do the deportations.
Oh, that's not going to happen.
You can't. Oh, you can't mobilize the military. I don't know what he's going to do. I think it was like
Rand Paul.
Rand Paul's
I don't know. Already, yeah.
So you
already
don't want,
undermining the whole.
You don't want to
effort.
get it done, right? Because like there's either get it done or don't get it done.
Yeah, the military is a little too much.
Yeah.
You know, we shouldn't have the spectacle, the optics of the military.
Better safe than sorry.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did he used to call him? He called him. He had a word for him. Trump. Remember when he teased
I
him?
don't remember.
He said,
I
"You
just
have
remember
plenty
him
material."
teasing him about where his poll numbers were compared to
Well,
him.
he teased him. I remember, but he mocked everybody.
He talked about his hair, right, or his look.
Hair. His look. He said, "Well, there's plenty of material that."
Yeah.
That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
And his face, the reaction was so great. But
You know, those Democratic senators for the 4 years of Biden, not one of them ever broke ranks. They all stayed together no matter what. And here, how long has it been now? 3 weeks since the election, and we called it. That's why our success rate is 95+% on just about everything we talk about. But they're already fracturing. You got this Murkowski or whatever her name is from Alaska. She wouldn't even be a senator if it wasn't for the fact she manipulated the vote the way they vote in that state. And you got McConnell, that guy's the Walking Dead. I don't know why he's still even there.
Mr. Turtle, right?
The turtle. I don't know. You can just go down the list. It's just one after another. Susan Collins from Maine. What are the people in Maine thinking? Why do they keep electing that person?
well, they're already saying about the illegal alien mass deportation. If you notice, they keep saying, "Well, we want to start first with the criminals.
Yeah.
We want to start. It's all going to be about that." There's only, I think, how many? Like 1 million, maybe. That's it. Maybe not even that.
I think it's
that many.
less than that of the criminals.
We're going to start. Those are the ones we really want to get out. So they're not even talking about anyone else. We want to talk about the ones that have committed crimes. Hey,
Every one of them did.
Every one of them did.
They're all criminals.
Oh, yeah.
All 20
they
million.
fucking all are. They all are.
Yeah.
And they're still talking about. He's still talking about those 300. We got to go find those 300,000 missing children. The missing children that were brought over the border by their parents. We have to rescue them. every year there are up to 800,000 American children missing.
Yeah.
And like I said last time, what about them?
Yeah.
They should be the priority. You know,
I agree.
if the other 300,000 came over here, they need to be fucking found and then deported too with their families.
Yeah.
All of them. But you know, they're more concerned with arresting people that are painting over LBGTQ transgender fucking murals in Seattle. This,
Yeah.
you know, you cross the border, we'll give you money, we'll give you flights, so you can go kill people.
Yeah.
But if you paint over a fucking mural, you'll get 10 years in prison.
Yeah.
You know, this is the woke shit we're doing because of vandalizing.
Yeah, but the people up there that you know that started police cars on fire and police stations, they get off. But the people that rolled over with paint rollers, the Black Lives Matter stuff, they go to jail.
Well, they're calling it an art piece. You vandalized an art piece.
Yeah.
And I think what needs to happen is that we need to ride in there, and you need to arrest the people that arrested him.
Yeah.
And they need to get fucking 10 fucking years.
Yeah.
And if you want to see where things are going in this country, watch the fucking CMA Awards. You know what the CMA Awards are? What?
The Country Music Awards.
Man, you're on.
I didn't watch them, but I
Country
know
Music Awards. There's a guy named George Strait. You ever heard of him?
Yeah.
George Strait. Some people call him the king of country music. I wouldn't call him the king. I would call Hank Williams the king. But I would say the modern day king of country music. He was back in the 80s, 70s, 80s.
Yeah.
George Strait. And they had him. I guess they were honoring him at some CMA. It was the last CMA award. And if you want to see know where the country is heading, and the condition of our country right now, and how it's devolved so much, just look at his face when he watches the guest performances on the stage. I saw it on my phone, and it was like a short clip of him, and he just looks fucking disgusted.
Yeah.
He's looking at the stage like, what the hell happened to my country?
Yeah.
You have Beyonce up there singing country music. You have this Jelly Fatso fucking up
Jelly
there
Roll.
singing, whatever his fucking name is, tattooed all over his face, you know, and he's watching this in pure disgust.
Yeah.
And you know, he should recruit a bunch of cowboys, bring on big fucking steeds, and stampede through that hall where the fucking show's going on, and just trample over all the people that don't fucking belong there.
That's right.
Just trample them all.
Yeah.
You know, and it sounds crazy, but you know what? Just fucking do it. What are they gonna do to you?
Yeah.
Just fucking do it. Send a message.
I'm just trying to not get angry anymore. It's been how many years? It's been what, a good 8 years of just nonstop fighting and pushing. I think the time for words is over. Honestly, when I think about how many millions and millions of words I've heard in complaints and explanations of what's going on, what they're doing to us, and now they're doing this to us, and now they're doing that to us, and now we see this, and now we see that, and like, you know, I threw myself into the thick of it a long time ago because I had time on my hands. I was fixing up a house for sale and unloading that. I was investing in Tesla stock. I had the free time to follow this political bullshit back in 2016 and get engaged and get involved. And you know what? I've overdosed on it, really, from the Kate Steinle to everything they've done, to them giving, you know, free passage to people to come across the border, to seeing some illegal alien grabbing children by the hair and pushing them forward toward the smoke grenades, and, you know, everything. It's just been disgusted. I've just been disgusted on one thing after another. So you can't be disgusted anymore. At some point, you don't feel it. You don't feel anymore. Like, I don't feel any anger. I just feel this resolve that something needs to be done, and I don't even like to talk about it anymore. Like,
but anger is a fuel to help you get it done. Right? It's going to energize you to get
You're
it
not.
done. If
You're
you're
not
angry,
giving
what's
up
gonna-
on this, right?
I'm not giving up.
All right. Well,
I'm just saying, you know what? I've been going hard and fast, and maybe I'm burning out a little bit, but I need to see some more on our side to make me think that we have fuel to keep going, because I'm not going to spin my wheels if there's no will around us. Like, I've gone hard. I've fucking gone to the Capitol. I fucking gone and defended people that were getting punched by fucking cholos with brass knuckles, and used whatever means I had at my disposal. It's a megaphone. It's not meant as a weapon, but it's a weapon of opportunity now. I'm not going to let someone punch you with brass knuckles. I've been there on what the proverbial front lines they talk about.
Yeah.
I've been to school boards. I've been to city councils. I've been down to the border in San Diego when Trump was in town. I've seen the weirdest of fucking weirdos that fucking come in and they get all the fucking clout. Like there's this like one little fucking dwarf with like a little leprechaun beard, this fucking dwarf, fucking weird, like looking kind of like a centaur or little fucking Pan character. And he's fucking prancing around like on his high heels. This guy's come after me. And every once in a while I look and I see what kind of following they have. They got thousands of people that like follow them and love them. And I'm like, what the fuck does it even mean to be a Republican? What the fuck does it even mean to be a conservative? These fuckers can serve nothing, and except for their fucking carrying the torch to try and take me out. And the Bible says if God is for us, who can be against us? So I shouldn't get too angry or too black-pilled, because God has gotten me through many toils, troubles, and snares with his amazing grace. And I've come this far, but still, every once in a while when I think about it, like as far as in the practical sense, I just get disgusted. I really do. I get disgusted, and this is a big let me down that this administration chose to go on a limb. They didn't even go hard, but they went kind of harder than was expected.
Disheartening.
It's disheartening.
Discouraging.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
that's what they
early
don't
on.
understand. When you're the leader, when you're trying to lead a movement, and you do that, but it all comes back to the thing we talk about all the time, which is the standard. The standard needs to be. It's all about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all about that. And one day, hopefully, our message will be big enough for people to understand. And when you have people like Sylvester Stallone going to these Republican events, calling Trump a mythical figure, and saying that
the second George Washington.
that he's the second coming of George Washington,
Yeah.
that lowers the standard. The fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
Unless Trump brings upon and resurrects 1776 all over again, the second coming of 1776, you're not that man.
Yeah.
You're not that man who right there is risking everything he has to fight alongside his fucking men.
Yeah.
On the battlefield. I mean, you're just not. And he is the father of our country. You're not the father of our country. I'm sorry. You still have a lot to fucking prove.
Yeah.
And this guy proved, like we were talking about earlier, we were staring at the picture again,
Yeah.
talking about how, and that picture right there, crossing the fucking Delaware, he showed no mercy on Christmas night to attack on Christmas night. There was no playing nice.
Yeah.
It's Christmas, and that's the thing I'm worried about too is our side is going to go softer during the fucking holidays.
For sure.
Now it's the holidays. People get in that spirit. Let's all get along.
Warm and fuzzy.
Warm and fuzzy.
But guess what?
Have a drink
And,
together.
and what's the point?
He
Yeah.
didn't.
He didn't, but even in our time, the fucking left won't. And you know why the left won't? Because they don't give a fuck about family. They don't give a fuck about Christmas or Christ or God or religion. They're going to be plotting. They're going to be making moves.
Absolutely.
They're going to be seething and figuring out new schemes and new plans of attack. They're not giving up. And one thing I do admire about them is that they don't tolerate. We tolerate. They don't tolerate. And the least tolerant side wins. They're willing to fucking keep going to battle during the holidays. And guess what? So was he.
Yep.
Like you said, Christmas Day.
They were asleep and he attacked them.
They were asleep, and what? He attacks and slits their throats in their beds,
and
basically.
turned the whole fucking war around.
Yeah.
Because he was about winning.
By any means
I
necessary.
love that fucking man.
By any means necessary. He went to battle because it was a sacred stewardship.
Oh, George Washington.
Country, right? Country. We're going to fight for this country, and he fought.
And he wasn't fighting Elizabeth Warren. He wasn't fighting Chuck Schumer.
Yeah.
He was fighting the biggest empire at that time in the world.
Yeah.
The biggest, most powerful army in the world. And look what he did. Ragtag boat, bunch of guys.
Cold night.
Cold fucking night, sleet, rain, ice, snow, everything.
And we can never slacken. We got to keep.
That's why I
Keep
hold the
going.
standard, because I think of these guys. I think of them, and I will never ever dishonor them. And you're right. I mean, Reddit right now, a lot of people know Reddit is a hotbed for extremism.
For leftism.
For left extremism. And they're the ones that basically put us in the public eye when we started our fight. We just fought. We didn't look for any attention. And they were the ones, this big thing was happening where we were getting attacked from everywhere. We were wondering where it was coming from. And somebody found it on Reddit. Somebody started a thread. There was like 30,000 people on there. Yeah. That's where it came from. They're doing the same thing now where they're talking about how they're completely justified in assassinating the president if they want to, physically harming anyone they assumed voted for him, and cutting off loved ones, like you were just saying. They don't care about family.
Yeah, they don't
voted for fucking Trump.
They want to kill their family.
They're all in, man. On their side, you can disagree with what they believe in, but you know what?
They fight to win.
You got to give them credit. They fight to fucking win.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, you have Mike Johnson, the guy who runs Congress? Isn't he the... What's he doing?
He's the Speaker of the House.
Speaker of the House.
Talking about,
the guy with the spectacles.
They asked him if he would be willing to will you tell us if you believe that this person that's a transgender in Congress, the first person elected,
is that something to be proud of, that we have the first?
It's disgusting. Would you be willing? They asked him, would you be willing to call this person a man? And he said, no, I'm not. I'm not going to. I'm not going to. He wouldn't answer. He wouldn't just say, yeah, it's a fucking man.
Yeah.
It's not a woman. It's a fucking man.
I mean, the guy is just a big pussy.
And meanwhile, fucking Trump is his attorneys are asking Alvin Bragg. He just won the presidency, and they're asking Alvin Bragg, that fucking racist punk.
Yes.
In New York, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Asking,
New York City.
Can you drop the case now? Writing letters to him. Please drop the case.
Which is showing weakness.
Please drop the case.
Showing weakness.
Instead of going, fuck you, I dare you to fucking try me. I dare you to call me to court. Watch what happens.
Yeah.
Watch what I fucking dare you.
Yeah.
Writing letters, asking for permission.
This is why I like to keep company with you, Tony. Because when you say these things, I feed off it. Then I say something, you feed off it. And we grow stronger in that direction. Because last night I got a call from my new attorney. And he's out of Maryland. And he's for the federal case. And the thing I take away from the conversation, he said, well, we're going to take some time so I can get ready. And so we're going to postpone this, push this thing out. He said, but, I imagine that the prosecutor is pretty mad. The prosecution team, they're mad about how long this thing has gone. And you know what I said to him? I said, I don't give a fuck if they're mad. I'm fucking mad. I'm fucking mad about how long this shit's gone on.
Yeah.
They should be thinking about how I'm mad.
Yeah.
Not fucking me giving a fuck if
I'm not
they're
worried about
fucking
you.
mad.
You should be worried about me.
Yeah.
What I think.
Yeah. Because really, like all this people, we're going to get a pardon. You know what? These fucks should be fucking the ones begging for a pardon.
That's right.
For what they did.
That's right.
We shouldn't be fucking groveling and begging and asking for a pardon. That should just fucking go away.
Yeah.
They should be fucking the ones seeking a pardon for what they fucking did, for their malicious prosecution, for their abuse of process, for their denial of fucking due process, their denial of rights. They should be begging for a pardon and get fucking none. Get none. Not us. We need to reframe this. We got to say, you know what? The way to go is, we're not going to fucking be happy with little. We want more. We want them to be the ones. Like, just like the left, right? They should be afraid about what we think. They should be afraid about what they say. They should be looking over their shoulder. We got so many people on the Republican side that are afraid. They're looking over their shoulder. They're worrying about getting exposed, getting found out. That should end. That should end. We need to make it so they're afraid. We shouldn't be afraid.
That's it.
That's it.
It's simple.
It's simple.
Yeah,
It's just,
it's
you know
fucking
what?
simple.
They invert everything. Well, guess what? We know they're fucking stupid. We know they're fucking liars. We know they're fucking evil. So whatever they take on, we need to invert. Because if anybody was fit to have their shit inverted, it's them. If anyone was deserving to have their shit inverted, we should automatically invert everything they say. And if they say, you're this, you're that, we say, okay, you say that about us, but this is what we're going to do to you. Every fucking standard they put that they try and, by your words you'll be justified and by your words you'll be condemned. For the measure with which you judge will be measured out to you. These are scriptural truths. If they want to fucking say, what were they saying about Trump supporters? That we should be killed?
They should be killed. Yeah.
The ones that voted for Trump? Yeah. Okay, guess what? You've just pronounced judgment on yourself.
On yourself. Yeah.
Because we know the left always projects. And so whatever they say and try to push on us, it's like that old, I'm rubber or you're glue. Whatever you say bounces off me and sticks to you. It's that fucking simple.
I'll tell you a couple of stories. So my father grew up in Italy during World War II. The Germans occupied his town. He's a little kid. They were all over, and he told me a story. He told me a couple of stories that kind of apply to this. I'll tell them real quick. One was, he said that that the Germans, when they occupied the town, there were these Italian partisans, right? And apparently these Italian partisans had killed one of the Germans or shot at one of the Germans. I'm not sure if he killed the German or not. Germans came in the fucking town. They called a town meeting with like a megaphone or whatever. They called everybody out. And they said, whoever shot at us, whoever killed, I think they may have killed somebody. Tell us who you are, and if you know who this person is, you need to tell us who it is. Of course, everybody was quiet, and they said, if you don't tell us, you killed one of ours, we're gonna kill 10 of yours. That's what they said. We're gonna kill fucking. You kill one of ours, we're killing 10 of yours.
Yeah. And
people thought they were full of shit. They didn't know, and they waited. They came back the next day. They said, you have 24 hours. Nobody gave this guy up. They came back, lined up 10 people in the middle of the street, machine gunned them down. That was the end of it. Told me another story when that's how they fought. That's how they fucking. That's how they made it clear they meant fucking business.
Yeah.
The other story was, he said that when the war ended, the Germans were in town, still kind of collecting all their stuff, packing up, and he said a lot of the kids would go up to the Germans and say, "Oh, can I have your belt? Can I have your can I have your helmet? Can I have your knife? Can I?" And they were giving shit away, right? Because they knew the war was over. Well, they had this big anti-aircraft gun in the middle of town. And one of the Germans got drunk. And when an American plane flew over, he shot it because he was drunk. And his buddies were like, "What are you fucking doing? The war's over, But they were still patrolling the area to make sure it was cleaned up. They drove everybody out. My dad said, man, in no time, he said a squadron of planes came, dove down low, and machine gunned the whole fucking town. Oh, God. There's no fucking around.
Yeah.
That's the whole point. You fight to fucking win.
Yeah.
You fight to annihilate the enemy, submit the fucking enemy, and you only show mercy when they have surrendered unconditionally. I think about boxing a lot. It's that boxer that's got the guy. He has the guy in the corner and he's pummeling him. And he's asking the ref to stop it. He's pummeling instead of just going for the knockout and defeating his opponent. He gets soft-hearted, right? And then he backs off because he thinks he's won the fight so easily. This guy's no match for him. Lets the guy survive another round. Guy gets a lucky punch in, knocks him out. The other guy becomes champion of the world. Yeah. The guy's done. Finish the enemy, But
or just like people running the race. And then they get to the end, and then they start slacking and just kind of jogging, right? And then there's a guy that's like, maybe 30 yards behind, but he's just sprinting. And I've seen these things where the guy he's just about a foot or two from the rope or the ribbon you go through, and this guy in second or third place just and beats him because he didn't stop. He didn't slacken. He didn't stop. He didn't slow down.
Yeah.
You can't slow down, especially at the finish line.
Yeah.
You gotta finish the job.
We're not even close to finishing the job. Well, but Trump could at least finish one job with fucking Gaetz. Finish that one. That was your first challenge.
No one really cares. I mean, personally, I don't really care for the guy, but I think
we talked about that. Yeah, I know.
I think we said this before. I think he would have done a good job. He would have gone after these people relentlessly. I think that's
maybe not, but it's the principle.
We'll never know now. Now we got to say, will Pam Bondi do that? Who knows?
Well, you know what? When I look at a group picture of Trump, Tulsi Gabbard, Elon Musk, RFK, I look at this and I think, did the Democrats win the election? Like who fucking won the election here? Yeah. I'm confused. Yeah. But meanwhile, women are trying to figure out what kind of perfume to use to repulse men. They're trying to drive men away. I am glad, though. I got to say, I am glad that George Clooney is in fucking. He's in hiding now. Because a lot of people blame him. First, I mean, we talked about this early on, where I said he's going to be one of the episodes.
Kingmaker.
He's going to be Kingmaker. Remember that?
Kingmaker.
Well, now he's not. Yeah. Now they're blaming him for talking about. Saying there is a God, man. When things like that happen, you get smacked in the face like that. You're like,
are these the ladies in the View that were kind of giving out a bad time?
I don't know who was, but I heard like a lot of people now are blaming him for convincing Biden to step down.
I just want to stop caring about what the left says and trying to fucking figure out how to fucking counter or complain about what they're saying. And I just want to start focusing on the right, getting our own house in order. Just start telling people like, no, I don't care if your fucking transgender is a MAGA transgender and your child drag queen story hour is a MAGA transgender child, drag queen story hour. That's not the fucking standard. I don't care if you're assless chaps that say fucking impeach this to mock their impeaching of Trump. I don't care if it's conservative assless chaps. And I've got a picture, Tony. I got memes. I got a meme stash, Tony.
You're the meme king, I think.
I mean, I've been collecting them.
You are. You're good at that stuff.
Well, I'm just emphasizing that they are assless chaps. Just to doubly emphasize that that's what chaps are. You got no ass, Like think about Mike Tyson with his fucking little thong in his fight. That picture. There was a picture that went viral of Tyson in a fucking thong pre-fight, like that he had this thong on. They were memeing it, right? And I think there was like even a skit, like some kind of skit where this guy, because there's like this skit going where women, like like hood women, like hood rats, they're like, I'm going out like this, honey. No, you ain't. Yeah, I look fine. So this guy, right? They're parodying that. So he's like wearing like the assless chaps like Tyson. And she's like, oh, no, you ain't going out like that. He's like, why? Tyson did it. Why can't I go out like
that? If he did it, must be okay.
Glad I didn't see that, man.
You didn't see it? Okay.
Glad I didn't. Don't show me that meme.
I won't. I didn't save that meme.
I do got a bad
I just noted it.
Mike Tyson.
But I didn't save it.
We've talked about,
I have a bad image in my mind now.
Mike Tyson on 2 episodes in a row.
Mm-hmm.
But he's a funny guy.
He is a funny guy. That fight was ridiculous. There was a guy, you guys know, a guy walked into the restaurant that night. He had it on his phone and he was playing it and people could see it.
So we saw it.
It was kind of
we
ridiculous.
Didn't pay for it, but we saw it.
It was ridiculous. Yeah. But you know what? It was obviously fixed.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously there was an arrangement, but you can't talk too much shit about him. The guy's almost 60 and he's still in there swinging. Yeah. And I think if they allowed him to do what he needed to do and took off the handcuffs, he would have been able to throw a couple good shots. Yeah,
no, he actually was coming out strong. He could have knocked the guy out, but he was contractually obligated to not knock him out. And see, that's how low this This
And
Jake,
the sheep will just fall in line and buy it and make them fucking rich.
I don't know. I mean, this Jake Paul, he may have fucking jumped the shark, Tony, because you know, he pays Tyson the millions of dollars to fucking not only take the dive, but to humiliate himself.
Yeah.
And so Tyson had to do stupid antics like bite his gloves.
What was that about?
So according to him, it's like, I just have the urge to bite, so I had to bite something. That's a fucking line that his fucking promoter gave him to say to make him look like a fucking, you know, the circus geek that bites the chicken heads off.
I know, but
Right? They made a fool out of him, and he let him.
Wow.
he's got a history of biting things, though.
No, he just did it one time. He just did it one time because he was mad because he was getting headbutted in a pre-existing cut. That, I mean, there's a method to his madness. There's a certain bit of logic there.
Yeah.
He felt that Holyfield was headbutting his cut, and we all know how much a headbutt can be, you know, damaging,
Well,
right? And he felt he was
if
headbutting
anybody
his
knows
open
about
wound.
headbutts, you would know.
I know. And so, like, Tyson was mad that his open wound was getting headbutted. And so, in frustration and pride, like a little bit of retaliation, he bit.
Yeah.
But I think that was the only time he ever bit. I don't think he ever bit since then,
I think that you're right about that.
you know? So,
I tell you what I bit into today. Some nice linguine and clams at the restaurant.
Nice.
You know, I got to tell you, like, I try to tell people this. You always know a good Italian restaurant. First, buy the bread. Bread's got to be really good, right?
Yeah.
We have the best fucking bread in the world. But
There's nobody has bread like you.
or
Your-
butter.
Your
The
clams,
butter we have.
your clams are delicious.
The
Your
fucking
seafood,
butter.
everything.
Yeah, thanks, man. But what makes a good clams linguine is, you know when you go to Italian restaurants, good Italian restaurant, by how good their linguine clams are. And when you eat ours come in the shell, right? Cherry stone, they're fucking beautiful. I think they're from Virginia. And a lot of these clams people use are from Thailand or some Asian countries, and ours are American. But at the bottom of the bowl, at almost every Italian, probably every other Italian restaurant you eat at, is a bunch of water. It's the steam, it's the water, it's a bowl of water at the bottom. Ours is just olive oil, herbs,
So
greens, garlic.
You got to dip the bread
And then
in there at the end.
And then you see people just grab that Italian warm, crusty bread that's soft on the inside, just mop up that oil. And just,
So good.
Oh my God. Just incredible, And it's a cherry stone on top, actually. And then the little neck, actually, are the clams that we have in the shells. The small ones we put a big one on top.
Yeah.
And it's just amazing. So I enjoy that today. I don't eat pasta often because I'm trying to still lose a little bit of weight, but I enjoyed it today at lunchtime.
You're making me. I might have to stop by there on the way
I
home.
think they're closed now, but but you know what? You have the key. You can get in.
Yeah.
But everything we're talking about that you're focusing on, Kim, goes back to the standard, and I'm sick of them talking about Bernie Sanders, saying that they should have chose Bernie Sanders. Would have been a better candidate. He's about the working man. And they're using him almost like our side as an example, like Bernie Sanders cares about the work. No, Bernie Sanders would have went more left.
Yeah.
Would have went even more fucking left.
Yeah.
He's a communist, socialist, and he wants more Marxist policies. So stop talking about Bernie Sanders as if he's. I don't like when Trump says he likes him. I like Bernie Sanders. He even would have been a better. Don't fucking talk about him. He is the ultimate enemy. But that's Joe Rogan's guy.
Yeah,
That's what Joe Rogan loves.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, that's the kind of fucking bait you got to fucking use to catch a fish like Joe Rogan. You got to start talking and praising Bernie Sanders and, whatever other fucking leftist fucking issue they love. You gotta sell out if you want to win over the left. So that's why this whole kumbaya. We're
Think
gonna
he would have
fucking
sold out? He would have never sold out.
no. Well, he wasn't
Nothing.
trying to fucking win over any leftists. It's a new game today.
But when you sell out like that, you sell your soul. It's just not worth it. You win by winning.
I
You
think
win by crushing the enemy.
maybe it's just gonna slow the burn, but still feels like we're gonna fucking burn. I don't know. Unless something dramatic happens, but I don't. I mean, the only dramatic thing I can see is they're gonna take Trump out. I hope they don't.
Yeah.
But I think they plan to.
So you had a J6 hearing today. What happened?
Just with the new attorney that I talked to last night,
I got there a little bit late. I missed that.
Yeah, I mean, it was just, they had the two new prosecutors, my new attorney. As usual, now that, I got new representation, I'm not allowed to talk. So I got to sit there like a piece of meat while they haggle over me.
Yeah.
Each presents there, we want to go as soon as possible to trial. No, I can't, I need it. Let's come back in 2 months. And the judge says, okay, we'll come back in 2 months. It's just all, it's a big show, Tony. Just like a big show. Like they talked about in March of 2022, taking this shit off of me. They talked about taking it off of me, and everybody was buttering me up, making me sound like it's going to be taken off. And then I go to the hearing, and the pretrial release officer who's overseeing this thing then starts throwing me under the bus. The judge starts jerking me around, being like, well, I don't know about what his housing situation is, and I don't know what about this case is with the Black Lives Matter and this and that. And until I hear about that, I won't be ready to take that off of him. I'll give you a week, defense attorney. Tells my defense attorney, gives her 1 week to get back to him about what these other things are, and then he'll take it off. And then she does nothing. Nothing. And here we are 2.5 fucking years later, and I'm still wearing this. And at this point, I know they're just playing a game with me. They're jerking me around, and I don't care. I'm not gonna buy into it. I'm not gonna get excited. It's all a show. It's just a show to mess with my emotions. Mm-hmm. This is what we got. We got a sick fucking government, or people in it right now that are sick, and they want to fucking just torture you so they can get your compliance. If they disappoint you, or they grind you down, or whatever, then maybe you'll take a deal and you'll read their script. I was a very bad person. I did wrong to my country. I conspire with Donald Trump to fucking overthrow this or that.
I believe Donald Trump and followed his direction.
Donald Trump made me do it. I was misled. They give people scripts to read. Yeah. They give people scripts to read.
I saw it. Remember they sent you a potential what was it, like a plea deal? Remember you handed it to me. Hey, Tony, take a look at it.
I just let you read it.
And I looked at it, and I looked at these guys. I go, you think this man is going to take this deal, take any deal? Yeah. You guys really believe
then
this?
I cleaned it up.
And they said, well, we got to show. At least
you made me seem like I wasn't going to fucking play ball.
Yeah.
So I gave them a rational answer. I said, I can't entertain any deal until I've seen the evidence against me. I want to see discovery.
Yeah.
And that's like something they can't argue with. Yeah. So I said that, and still they haven't given me discovery.
You were being like a reasonable man, showing them.
You got to show some. You got to play the game.
Yeah. But you're right. I remember there was the language was all in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they want you to fucking
like a POW statement. That's what it's kind
of
felt like to me when I was reading it.
Yeah. Fuck them.
And
I was talking to this new guy that has done a lot of research on January 6th, and maybe potentially we could have him on the show. Mm-hmm. And he was telling about a guy out of Kansas that's been going in self-defense on his Fed case. Maybe we could have him on the show. But that's for another day. But one thing he told me, you asked me about the cop that got killed that when I was at the Gulag in D.C., and they had the pictures of the people that died, and they had the cop.
One cop, yeah.
So what he told me
about...
about...
that was at J6.
The cop that was at J6 that died the next day.
Okay. And how did he die?
So he had a brain aneurysm.
Okay.
But... his name was Sicknick. Yeah. And I got some details about him.
That's his last name?
Sicknick, yeah. And so Sicknick was a Trump supporter. And Sicknick's superior was that black guy that's seen wearing the MAGA hat. And that guy says, yeah, he was a Trump supporter. Sicknick had broken up with his girlfriend about 6 months prior to J6. But they're trying to go sue the J6 defendants in a class action for the Capitol Police, especially Sicknick, and they want to make her the beneficiary of whatever settlement or whatever, judgment awarded for his death from January 6th defendants. He broke up with her 6 months before. So they're just trying to force everything. They're trying to use his dead body as a fucking weapon to attack J6ers when he actually was a Trump supporter. And this goes right into my theory. I said, Tony, I felt it in my bones. I don't think they died of natural causes. I know that we didn't kill him. None of us protesters or, people there that were exercising their right. I believe the fucking deep state killed him because he wouldn't play ball with their lie. And then they want to use him now as a weapon for the people that he sided with.
I wouldn't put it past him.
I really believe that. I mean, given what they've done, the lies they've told.
Look at the shit just Hillary was doing when she was.
Oh, for sure.
She was around. People were disappearing left and right.
Well, and to this day, you still got when Biden, the current president, talks about January 6th, he talks about all the cops that got killed that day. When no cops got killed that day. What you had was a bunch of suicided cops, I guess. Maybe over the course of the days, weeks, and months afterward, there are a lot of mysterious suicides and mysterious deaths. Again, which to me points to they don't want to play ball with the official narrative from these fucking tyrants. But I want to say this right now. I'm not going to fucking go soft. If these fucking tyrants in the FBI want to go rogue and want to go fucking outside the law and want to go extrajudicial instead of within the boundaries of the law, then they're fucking criminals. And if they want to fucking do the insurrect, they want to insurrect again, this time they fucking pay the price. They pay the fucking price. Whatever they thought we should get, they get that a fucking thousandfold.
Yeah, you're not just walking away unscathed.
Yeah.
With your fucking pension.
You can beg for a fucking pardon, but you're gonna get fucking none.
Yeah.
None.
So for the people that are listening, watching, what's next in J6? What's the next step?
I mean, it's just kick down the can down the road to. I think it's like a few days after inauguration. So
it's like the 23rd of January. I think is your next.
And to make it clear, Kim is principled about this. He doesn't want a pardon. Yeah. Pardons are for fucking sissies. He wants a dismissal.
Well, and technically, I can't get a pardon because I haven't been convicted.
But if you were, you still wouldn't even want that. Yeah. He wants. I mean, obviously.
I don't even want a dismissal, but okay, I want an apology.
But that's where the dismissal has to come with an apology.
Yeah,
that's it, right?
I mean, I'm going to be a realist. I
know.
I probably would accept, under protest a dismissal. I might fucking say a few choice words to them,
to the judge.
Parting words, words.
Parting shots.
This is bullshit, but I don't want a pardon.
No.
And I don't even qualify
for it. You can't get a pardon. You're right about that. Yeah.
But I wouldn't want, if I could, I wouldn't want one anyways, because a pardon doesn't a pardon's not gonna compensate me for fucking wearing this thing for 3.5 years.
Yeah.
This is cruel and unusual punishment. Yeah. This is a modern day shackle. Pardon's not gonna do shit for that. Pardon's okay, we all walk away. And meanwhile, I gotta fucking limp away.
But at the same time, though, they've done us a favor by putting that on your ankle, because that has served as such a powerful tool to make people understand that this war is real. We see it all the time.
Visual aid.
I've had people walk into the restaurant and come to me and express their appreciation for the fight that we've waged over there and the things we've done, and they'll start talking about what they believe in. They're seemingly passionate about it and hardcore about it, but they still don't really understand how real it is until I see Kim across the restaurant, across the room, and I call him over. Kim, come over here, and then I'll introduce him and then say, show him.
Yeah. And
then once he shows it, it's like that's reality. They just saw a fucking UFO. They can't believe what they're looking at. Yeah. I'm like, why are you so fucking shocked? Did you not know that this is fucking happening? Yeah, but to see it, I'm like, God, they're doing this to you? You're doing this to him? Yeah. Why are you surprised? The fuck is wrong with you?
And you're next.
So nobody
and
gets
it's going to be around your fucking neck.
Yeah.
They're going to put it around your neck.
Your fucking neck.
And around your fucking nuts, probably, because they're fucking perverts.
Yeah. Yeah. So nobody understands it's real until they see reality, which is right there on his fucking ankle. That's the reality.
They're probably designing ones right now with fucking shock treatment in them too, right? Or little fucking needles that stab you. I mean, we're dealing with some sick fucks here, Tony.
Yeah, you're right.
We are.
You're right.
Did you get did you get a sense after your hearing today that there was any kind of crack in the armor on the other side?
Yeah, I asked him that he was there with you today. I asked him, did they seem worn out at all?
Well, yeah, because I gave him a very detailed account of what happened in the hearing after it happened.
Yeah.
And it was fresh in my mind, almost But anyways, what I told him did you get a sense from what I told you? I think they're just going through the motions and playing a game. I think that. I mean, I don't know.
So, but since this is the first time you've seen the judge and the rest of them since the election, was there any difference in their spirit,
the demeanor or whatever? It seemed like
the energy in the room?
They're not showing their cards.
Okay.
They're not showing their cards. And you know what I'll say is this is, even if my new court-appointed attorney, is going to talk the talk. I've been there before with other court-appointed attorneys that talk the talk. You got to consider them the enemy until they prove otherwise. Until they prove otherwise.
Unconditional surrender.
But I'm talking about even the attorney they appoint to you.
To you, yeah.
Because they appointed him to you. So who does he work for? They do. He works for them.
Yeah.
They appoint him, so
they probably coached him up.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, I'll be honest with you. Some of the things he said sounded as though he had been given some briefings on me.
That's what I mean.
Like he
coached him up.
Yeah, I mean, and how you got to deal with this guy. And
they prepped him.
You got to be careful because he's, he'll turn on you. Like, yeah, I'll turn on you after you turn on me. You give me a fucking reason to turn on you, I'll turn on you. Yeah. And I only turn on them when they turn on me. When they say we're gonna go to fucking trial without you being prepared. Well, guess what? Now you turned on me. Now you just can't leave. Yeah. Right? Now you just can't leave. Now you and I are gonna fucking tangle.
Bronx Tale.
Yeah.
Now you just can't leave.
You mentioned that the prosecutors are new. They're new prosecutors from the last time, or is it?
Yeah. Well,
same group.
Well, no. I mean, like they're just new. Like it's like it used to be other people, but now it's like this kind of like German-looking guy with glasses and this like little Indian gal.
Yeah. Okay.
Like that they're relatively new. I think I've only seen them once before. I think prior to that it was like maybe an Ethiopian guy or something or.
Yeah.
So, but you said that you didn't get the sense that they were. You get the sense that they were still pushing hard to get this done before I'm going to assume.
They want to push before, but my new court-appointed attorney, and this is why I feel like he got briefed, because they kept trying to keep me within the federal public defender's fucking circuit, right? But the law or the basic rule is that once you have a fallout with one federal public defender, you're done with them. They're supposed to assign you a conflict attorney from outside the federal public defender system. So they weren't doing that. And so I made clear when I went to D.C. to the judge, just for the record, Your Honor, I'd like to make it a point to, point out that in your order, you said I was to be referred to the conflict panel. I would like a conflict panel attorney and not another federal public defender. So what was one of the first things my attorney, who's not a federal public defender, says to me last night on the phone? And I just want to let you know, I'm not in the federal public defender's office. So somebody told him that was an issue that I was, a stickler about. And so obviously he has to make that point to me. But, all that does is it doesn't convince me that you're sincere. It convinces me that you've been fucking briefed. Like they got a fucking file on me and they're just discussing how they're going to fucking screw me.
Yeah.
So he hasn't done anything wrong to me yet. He says he's got so many fucking murder cases. And that in itself makes it a fucking joke. You're fucking taking an attorney that's got murder cases and you're fucking lumping me in with him.
Because their side, they see it as putting another head of the enemy on the wall, pelt on the wall. And you're a pelt that they want. Just like Elizabeth Warren, she got her pelt on the wall. Yeah. Matt Gaetz, his fucking pelt on the wall ready. That took no fucking time. Yeah. They didn't even take any effort. Yeah. Really.
I was kind of hopeful when you said your next date was the 23rd of January, which is 3 days after the inauguration. I was kind of hopeful that, new administration in. I was at the time this morning, it was Gaetz was going to be the AG still. And I think that he's a kind of a fighter. I was kind of hopeful.
What the hell's going to happen? Let me tell you something. John Strand was the first person who messaged me about Matt Gaetz.
I saw that.
He was happy.
Matt Gaetz.
Because Matt Gaetz came to visit him in fucking jail.
Well,
Did you know that? That's what the guy last night I was talking to told me. He told me he knows about John Strand. He said that John Strand was in solitary and that Matt Gaetz came into the jail and visited him and got him out of solitary and sent to a better fucking federal prison.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure to look into that, but he was counting on Matt Gaetz being Attorney General.
Exactly.
And I haven't talked to him since. What happened? Was it happened yesterday? Did he drop out yesterday or today?
This morning. This morning.
It all happened. Yeah.
It's went so fast. I can't keep track.
It was like after your.
I'll check in with him, but I wonder if he's like deflated over it.
Of course he is.
But I'm gonna find he was. over the moon.
He felt a
about it.
connection
Very
to
about it,
Gaetz,
him,
so
yeah.
of course he is.
So,
But what I'm gonna say to you, Doug, is this.
But he's in Florida though too, and this other woman, Pam Bondi, she's in Florida. I don't know. Yeah.
What I'm gonna say is this. I'm not playing the game like waiting for them to dismiss it.
Yeah.
You know, oh, my next hearing for my status conference is 3 days after inauguration. Maybe it's going to get close, but I won't go to trial. No. We're going to go to trial, and we're going to fucking get the fucking names of all the federal fucking operatives and federal agents and federal cop law enforcement that was in that fucking crowd. Because you have a right. If that's a crime scene, then you have a fucking right to know what undercover cop was there on scene at the crime scene. Because guess what? The whole fucking thing is over now. Their cover should be blown. We should fucking know this is the right of discovery. And guess what? This is America, and we don't have secret police. All my life they talked about, oh, this country's got secret police. Saddam Hussein's secret police. The fucking KGB secret police. Well, guess what? We don't have secret police in the America I fucking want. And so I'm going to fucking demand that I fucking know the names of these secret police. And if my fucking new court appointed attorney doesn't want to get that discovery, then he can fucking kick rocks too. Because I'll just take the case over myself. Because at least I know with me, I'll be able to get a word in edgewise where I can say, I want to know who were the federal fucking secret police that were on scene. And at least I'll get the question out there. Whether I get it granted or denied, that's on the judge and his fucking relationship with his maker.
That's why I like to at least, when I fight my fights, I like to follow my own sword.
Yeah.
I'm not going to fall on somebody else's fucking sword.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'm gonna
lose my way.
Maybe I'm going to fall on my fucking sword. I'm going to fall on a sword either way. Whether I go with a fucking attorney that doesn't want to fucking defend me and just wants to play and stroke me and tell me, or I fucking go myself to the judge personally and say, from my mouth to his ears, I want the discovery. I want my due process rights. But at least when I do that, he may deny it, but at least when I do that, now it's on him. Now he's responsible for the decision he makes. And he'll have to answer to whoever. If the DOJ wants to do a fucking investigation on him for judicial misconduct, if we want to have fucking Guantanamo Bay or whatever for any fucking rogue judge that's fucking violating citizens' rights, guess what? Maybe that day will come.
Well, you know what?
Yeah.
I hope there's not a rude awakening for a lot of those J6ers, even the people who voted for Trump. Meaning if he doesn't pardon all those people and get them out of fucking jail.
There's been
I mean all of them.
Because you were telling that to John Strand, right? You're saying, would you stop supporting Trump?
He kept saying, "Oh, he's definitely gonna let." I didn't ask you that. That's what I kept saying over and over again. I didn't ask you that. If he doesn't pardon you, will you still support him? Well, he's going to. I took like 3 or 4 times. So I finally said, "Yeah, okay, I won't."
It's the unthinkable, right?
It's unthinkable, but he fucking better. It better be blanket. Every fucking body, because to me, even the ones that may have committed a crime and may have done something violent, or whatever, still, it's not in comparison to what people did during BLM.
Exactly.
I don't give a fuck. Okay, call it a fucking wash. They all need to get out. Yeah. Everybody needs to fucking get out. Even all of them. They went there because of you. They went there because of their love for you and believing what you said. That's why they were there. Yeah. They need to all be let out. And I said this.
The guys that got the big sentences too. Who are they? The Oath Keepers or?
So yeah, you got a couple of Proud Boy leaders. You got like maybe
the 2 or 3 that got the 20-year or 18
22, 17 years.
Those guys need to come out too. There's no
everybody.
They got railroaded.
I mean, I always.
That's how you win. You say, you know what? They're on our side. They were our people. They're all out.
I'm sure they're going to come out
because they would do it. Their side would do it.
Absolutely.
You see how they operate, and that's why I think a good selection for Trump for Attorney General. Somebody asked me. You saw it, Doug. I said Giuliani.
Yeah.
Make Giuliani. He's too old. Who gives a fuck? You know what? Give it to him for a year, 6 months, 2 weeks. Let him take out as much revenge as he can on his fucking enemies. Starting with those 2 women who have already gotten so far. His Mercedes, I heard. Plus, and a watch. He's starting to turn
20
stuff
watches
over.
Or something he had to turn.
You know, and I haven't heard Trump since he got elected speak about Giuliani fucking once.
If you let Trump, if you let this stand, you let them get away with this, then you are just basically saying we might as well all just fucking switch sides
Or shut up.
And
Yeah.
convert to the fucking
Yeah.
leftists.
Yeah.
Because you're saying that they're the ones that are going to win and we're going to lose.
Yeah.
And I'm tired of losing. I'm tired of not winning.
Yeah.
So if Trump doesn't fucking stop this, reverse it, and then retaliate, then he's a fucking loser.
Yeah.
He's a loser.
Not only get his shit back, but then take their homes and take their cars and take their shit
and take away
and give it to fucking Giuliani.
and take away their ability to ever do it again.
Exactly.
Ever do it again.
Ever. Defang them forever.
Done.
Giuliani did more for this country just in New York City. He revitalized what many consider around the world the greatest city in the world by himself because he had balls. He did things nobody wanted him to do. Everybody challenged him and he got it done.
Got rid of all the
Turned that whole
porn
city
shops.
around. Everything. Every fucking thing.
And then what they do to the
This
city.
is how it ends up.
Yeah.
A couple thugs.
A lot of people have no idea how bad New York. I mean, I grew up like an hour from New York City, so I went there a lot. Times Square was it was hookers, it was peep shows, it was crap. And Giuliani
Those window washer guys, crime everywhere. Stuff. You couldn't go out at night.
Giuliani
Times Square was a disaster zone.
You couldn't go near Times Square. Giuliani came in there, he turned into Disneyland.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like amazing. Yeah. People came from all over. Yeah. It was safe. He changed it completely.
And then they redirtied it, right?
Well, all these other mayors after him, they've
destroyed it again.
And this guy that's the mayor right now, he's
gone back and forth. Well, maybe we let in too many illegals or whatever, and then they start attacking him. But it's that's too little, too late.
Well, Trump now is palling around with this mayor now.
The mayor of New York.
What's his name? Adams, right?
Adams, yeah.
Yeah, he's palling around with him because the guy's pretending like he supports Trump now, like they're on the same team. But he better be careful. I keep saying it. He lets people in his circle a little bit too easily. And we talked about it before, man. The Roman Inquisition has to start happening.
Exactly.
It needs incorporated. But I'll end the J6 conversation on this. Some good news for Aaron Babbitt's case to defend the honor of his wife Ashley. The cop who fatally shot her. They're finding out now in discovery or in an investigation that he had a lengthy disciplinary record that includes fucking gun incidents, like one after the other.
She's a loose cannon.
His name was Michael Bird. I don't know if you remember that name, but
wasn't he a Jamaican?
I don't know what he is.
He failed shotgun qualification test, a failed FBI background check for a weapons purchase, a 33-day suspension for a lost weapon, and referral to Maryland State prosecutors for firing his gun at a stolen car, fleeing his neighborhood. So this guy's a loose cannon.
Yeah.
I mean, he fucking was. Yeah. And so his case is still ongoing. You were saying they're trying to move it to San Diego.
Well, they moved it from San Diego to Washington, D.C., and that's another thing. I mean, I had a lot of hope with Gaetz potentially being the AG. I thought that case should get moved back to San Diego. Yeah. But we'll have to see now. I mean, it's kind of deflating actually, what happened today. At noon or whatever time when they.
Well, maybe Gaetz wasn't the one.
But that's the whole point.
I know, but everybody's got so much trust and faith in Trump. He's the president. Everyone's kind of relaxing, going back to their way, and these first couple of appointments are not turning out.
And that's the whole point. Leaders who talk a big game,
you need to deliver.
You start instilling a lot of confidence in people. You start instilling like this fighting spirit in them.
Yeah.
And they start to believe you, and they start to follow you like they did at J6. You can't pop the balloon. You can't punch them in the gut with actions like this. Yeah. Like you have to continue emboldening them, empowering them, encouraging them, and by doing what he did this week, and by it wasn't even Matt Gaetz. Apparently, it was Donald Trump talked to him and had a conversation with him and said, you can't win. You're going to be a distraction. We won't be able to even get this through. What? Yeah. So Matt Gaetz stepped down because what Donald Trump told him.
Yeah.
So it's a problem.
Well, I mean, considering the way Gaetz, I never heard that story.
Yeah, it came out today.
But no,
It's part of a conversation. Yeah.
I don't care about that story. I don't give
Which
a
one?
fuck about Trump and
Which one are you
Gaetz.
talking about?
I'm talking about your conversation with Gaetz. That brief little exchange.
Yeah. You never knew that story.
I didn't know that,
Yeah.
and that
I was standing face to face with him.
that's a fucking game changer for me,
Yeah,
Tony.
I was standing face to face with him.
If he's got a problem
I
with
think
you
yeah.
or the way you fucking roll,
Yeah.
then he's not our guy.
Yeah.
He's not.
It was like
He's a fucking
he
pussy.
could have easily been cool, even bonded with me a little bit, and said, "Man, we got how can I help?" He could have at least said, because I was still going. I think I was going through shit with OSHA at the time.
Yeah.
I was in a battle, and the person that introduced us, she even explained to him that right now he's fighting this blah blah blah. I forget what it was. I fought so many battles, and then he was looked at me like go fuck yourself. Like I don't really give a shit.
You know what, Tony? Real recognizes real,
exactly,
and he's not real.
He's not real.
He's not
How
real.
Fucking dare you.
If he was fucking real,
Yeah.
he would have fucking known that he was standing with a man, and he would have given respect.
He cared about being on Trump's plane. That's all he cared about, and showing off his new girlfriend, whoever the hell she was.
Yeah.
And
What accomplishment does that fucking even convey to a crowd in a speech?
Yeah.
I got to be on Trump's plane. Okay, so what? Are you a fucking groupie?
Yeah, exactly. That's what they are.
What did he
No, that's exactly right.
You don't fucking stand for anything. You're just a fucking bimbo.
Yeah.
You're just a male bimbo.
Yeah.
You're just sitting there like he doesn't fucking
Put him in
sound like
chaps.
assless chaps for that chap. Right? Well, he's already got them. From what I'm hearing from that fucking talk he gave to The View, he's already got the assless chaps, Tony.
Yeah.
You know?
I think it's just that you're not wearing pants.
It's almost like it's almost like now, when I heard that he got nominated for AG, you saw me.
Well, we didn't think it was a good pick right from the
I was
beginning.
like, whatever, it's fine.
But,
yeah, exactly.
But then he kind of grew on it.
And
I started thinking about it. I go, well, this guy's like he's a fighter. He's going to be relentless and all these things.
In the last episode, we talked about it. I talked about him. I went down the list of what I liked, didn't like. I said I wasn't sure about him. It's because I hadn't told you guys the story yet. But there was a reason why. I didn't know about him yet. But now that he's not going to be the AG, we have no use for him.
Yeah,
at
fuck
this
him.
point, we don't fucking know you. We have no use for you now.
Yeah.
Next.
We can talk
next
about
up,
we can talk about the Cuban boy that he had living with him that was, kind of
Adopted son,
but not really
What is that
officially
about?
adopted.
Yeah.
It sounds like
That's a
bit
weird
of
story. Yeah.
sounds like a little bit of like National American Man Boy Love Association, if you ask me.
Yeah,
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah,
Kind of weird.
and if he helped John Strand, good. That's your fucking job.
Yeah. You don't get any fucking
You don't
credit.
get extra credit for that.
Yeah.
You should have fucking helped him.
Yeah, of course.
All you fuckers should
And you
have helped him.
you should have been fucking saying thank you to John for being the one that has the opportunity to help John.
Yeah.
Right? You should be grateful to John.
You should be honored.
That you get the opportunity to help a person
that's
who
their job.
fucking stood up for their country.
That's right.
Exactly.
Right?
Yep. Well,
That's what we got to do. We got to reframe all these fucking leftist narratives because generally it's really easy, Tony. You just do the inverse of whatever they fucking think. Oh, fucking J6 was a setup? No. You got set up to think it was a setup.
that's right.
You're a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
We have a fucking right to protest bullshit. Don't be a fucking idiot. Oh, so when I went to a school board meeting, it was a setup? No, you're a fucking idiot. You got set up to think it was a setup.
That's perfect.
Parents have a right to go to school boards.
Yeah.
Don't be a fucking idiot. Everything they fucking say, every fucking narrative that's leftist, even if it fucking comes from the right, if it sounds like leftist, then you know it's leftist.
Yeah.
Right? Every fucking one of these fucking stupid ass talking points, you just fucking turn around on them because they deserve it. Because they're being a fucking idiot.
Yeah. I remember during the whole school board thing when people would come to me and say, "What do we do? What do we do?" I said, "This is what you fucking do. You don't go to the school boards, fucking getting on your knees, your hands and knees, begging these fucking school board supervisors or whoever the hell they are to give you permission to not wear masks or not have the vaccine or submit to all these tyrannical fucking mandates. You know what you do instead? You show up in school. All the fucking parents show up in school and say, "Hey, motherfuckers, we're coming in and we're going to sit with our kids in class.
Yeah.
And you're not going to fucking touch them. And they're not going to have a fucking mask on. And we're going to sit right next to them. And we dare you try to throw us out of class.
Yeah.
We're not going to fucking budge. Storm the castle." It's always about storming the castle. storm the castle and be unafraid and be fucking bold, and that will scare a bully every fucking time.
See, that's why
what they are. They're
people
mini
need to
bullies.
listen to the show. We can help them, educate them on how to fight these people.
'Cause you're
not
Americans.
just talk about them.
They
Like
need,
you
like,
made this point over and over again.
They need
No more talking. Now it's time to
I'm
start
asking
doing.
them, enlist us.
Yeah.
Faith
I am
without
asking
faith.
these leaders, enlist us.
Faith without works is dead.
Yeah.
All these sayings, these are gold.
Yeah.
This is real.
All right, guys, that was good. I can't wait to
Right.
I can't wait to share a nice dish of pasta with you guys.
I know, I'm good.
What would you order if
Well, right now, I'm
if we were all
thinking
sitting together at Pacilicos right now?
Linguine and
What
clams
would
is
you
what
order?
I'm thinking about right now.
Okay, you all the linguine clams. What would you have?
You know, Tony, I like the boar ragu
The wild
Yeah, it's so
boar.
good.
over the pappardelle.
I'll probably have osobuco.
Yeah.
That sounds good too.
You know what I did
Short
have
rib that just
I
slides
did have
off
a
the
really
bone.
nice
Ooh.
chicken parm
Polenta.
slider today.
Chicken
For people that
parmesan.
like lunch and they don't want a big meal, just
You had the sandwich.
the sandwich, yeah. It's
You like
very,
that a lot.
very good.
Chicken parmesan.
I was looking at one of our old episodes today, and we're all sitting there eating, and
Yeah.
we look pretty funny, but
was-
cool.
That was.
I
fun.
mean, because that
that was cool.
we're eating, and you know what? If you're eating good food, you look good,
Yeah.
That's
right?
And
Especially
you're
in a
feeling
suit.
good.
Yeah, and we'd like to get back to the restaurant. It's hard. It was hard sometimes because people were there, and we'd have to wait for them to leave. And by the time we started the film, it was really, really late. And there was
I
a
could
lot
just
of-
go lock the door and say, "Now you just can't leave."
There were there were a lot of adjustments that we had
Yeah.
to do, but we'll shoot there again.
I
soon.
like the new studio though. I think it's really cool
You
here.
like this? Huh?
Yeah, we got to get
This
these
is-
guys, these J6 guys. We got to get them on as interviewees, and then maybe we'll go to the restaurant and do it, and have a little meal with them too.
Yeah, I was gonna say too, people who watch, people who listen, if there are things you want to ask us about ourselves, about the show, about if you have things that you want us to talk about, topics.
It's none of your fucking business.
Yeah, that's funny. Email us, and we'll consider it.
I was just
you
kidding.
know?
Jokes.
And we'll consider it. But yeah, you call this a studio. No, this is the war room. This is the real war room. There's
Yeah,
a show
for sure.
called the War Room. I heard.
Yeah.
This is the real war room, right?
That's the boar room.
That's
The boardroom.
This is the
not
war
the
room.
boardroom. Boardroom.
Boar room. They're
Boar room.
boring.
I like that. I like that.
You know what? One more point about Trump.
Go
You
ahead.
know, we've been hard on him tonight,
Yeah.
especially, and we
Yeah.
want him to be successful.
Yeah.
He's got a chance to change this country
Yeah.
back to the
Yeah.
way people like George Washington
Yeah.
fought to found this country. We want him to be successful, and we're just not. I can say I'm not happy with what I'm seeing.
People on our side put a lot of faith in him, right? To lead, and while he's leading, representing the things that we
Yeah.
believe in, that our side believes in.
Yeah.
And so because of that responsibility he has now, you have to love him.
Yeah.
But you know what?
Tough love.
When you love someone like that, they can break your fucking heart. It's tough love. That's all it is.
Yeah.
We're trying to hold them accountable.
Yeah, and I would rather, there's a saying, I mean, because, so much is at stake, and especially him, and where he's at and his destiny, I would rather beat him, because we feel like we're beating up on him, right? I'd rather beat him to heaven than love him to hell,
There you go.
right?
Yeah.
He's
Good
too
way of
good.
putting it.
He's too good for that. We can't go soft. We know he's tough. He took a fucking bullet. He fucking jumped right back up.
Yeah.
We know he's a tough guy. We know he can take it. We don't have to pull our punches on him.
And that's the whole thing. We know he can. We know
Yeah.
he can do it. Like
Yeah.
we
I know he
know he's got what it takes down deep inside of him.
Yeah.
But he needs people. He needs more iron around him, sharpening him.
Yeah.
Right. There's not enough
As
iron.
iron
around him.
sharpens iron.
Iron sharpens
Proverb
iron.
in the Bible.
There's not enough iron around him.
Yeah.
He needs iron around. A lot of iron.
Yeah.
And that will keep him sharp. And right now he's got a lot of softies around him. So
That's
anyway.
true.
But I enjoyed tonight as always, guys.
Awesome.
You're Americans, act like it, and don't be afraid of. I haven't said that yet, but we used to say it all the time. And don't be afraid of. Thanks for coming, guys. Good to see you both. See you next time. Thanksgiving's coming up next. We don't know yet if we're gonna
Yeah.
if we're going to shoot. We might take a break. We don't know yet. We're going to try to.
No fucking breaks.
But yeah, we're going to do our best. Yeah. We'd like to keep going, but we have you have a lot of family to see. You have family to see. I have family to see. So.
But this is
But
important.
we'll do our best. It's important. That's why we're going to do our best.
Yeah.
Can't promise anything yet, but we're going to do our best.
Yeah.
All right, guys. See you next time.
God willing, Tony.
Amen.